Gianna, read this message right away. It's really important, so please check it immediately. Eleanor, why are you messaging me at this hour? It's 3 a.m. Are you feeling unwell or something? In my dream, your baby was calling me. I'm certain this is a sign. So I feel like I have to go right now. What? For something like that? Do you have any idea what time it is? Dreams have a deep meaning, you know. That's what they've always said. They say they hold important messages, especially if my grandchild was calling me. It's really special. So I have to head over there right now. No, please stop. It's really a problem if you come at this hour, seriously. That's why I am already in the car on my way over. Keep the door open for me. For my grandchild's sake, I really have to go. Wait, hold on a second. Are you really coming? Even if you say something like that all of a sudden. If there's a sign like this, of course I have to act. Dreams have a deep meaning, especially when it comes to family. That's why I need to take action right now. But, no really, even if you rush over like that, please, you can't come here right now. It doesn't matter what you think, Gianna. I can't just ignore this dream. It's my role as a grandmother. You'll understand once you become a mother too. No, I'm really sorry. But coming in the middle of the night it's just not reasonable. Reason doesn't matter. Answering the call of family comes first. Just open the door. I'm sure this is fate. It's a sign that something amazing is going to happen, and we can't miss this chance. Eleanor. Hey, you're home right now, aren't you? You wouldn't pretend to be out, would you? As your mother-in-law, I went out of my way to come to your house. So welcome me in with open arms. Eleanor, hello. Wait, did you really come to our place? I told you I was coming, didn't I? Now hurry up and open the door. I tried to come in with the spare key, but it's not working. You know what? We never gave you a spare key in the first place, right? I don't remember ever approving that. Also, I think we've talked about this before, but because you tried to use that spare key to come into the house several times without asking, Noah took the key back from you. He went off on you pretty hard, right? Did you already forget? But I'm Noah's mother. Is it really such a problem for a mother to come into her son's house? So what? Just because you're his mother doesn't mean you can come and go from our house whenever you want. Making a copy of the spare key, isn't that a little too much? What are you talking about? Of course it's necessary. You have to be extra careful. There might come a time when having a spare key is essential. So being prepared is just part of being a responsible adult. Don't worry, we were also extra careful and changed the locks. You can't use that spare key copy anymore. Wait a minute, you changed the locks without even consulting me? What's the meaning of this? Changing the house locks without telling me? Eleanor, you made a copy of the spare key without consulting us. What's that all about? What happened to our privacy? Oh, I see. Now I understand why the key didn't work. That explains it, but that doesn't matter. Now just open the door. No, I won't. Changing the locks would be pointless then. We changed them for security, you know. I went out of my way to come here. Don't you have any gratitude? I didn't ask you to come. I never said I wanted you to visit. Since this is your first baby, it's only natural that I, as a more experienced mother, should give you advice, right? I've been through a lot, so you should be grateful for that. I'll say it again. I didn't ask for any advice. And besides, times have changed. What was normal for you when it came to childbirth and parenting just doesn't cut it in today's world. We'll do things our way, so please respect that. Oh, really? Well, then I'll just tell Noah. I'll let him know what a disrespectful wife you are for not letting his own mother into the house. Maybe you need a lesson in how to be a proper wife. You clearly don't understand what it means to value family. It's honestly a bit of a problem when you show up unannounced almost every day, especially when we've already asked you not to. Eleanor, if you keep doing this, maybe it's you who needs a lesson in how to behave as a mother-in-law. Normally, you'd call ahead and consider the other person's schedule. What do you mean by a lesson as a mother-in-law? I'm not your pet. Do you expect me to obey you like a dog or a cat? You're talking like I have to follow your orders or something. That's ridiculous. I'm Noah's mother. You're the one who used the word lesson about me just a moment ago. And these days, dogs and cats listen better than people. They're much more obedient and follow directions more often than you do. In that sense, pets might be better. Just let me in. What's the big idea, making me wait outside in this cold? It's been getting chilly lately, you know? You could show a little concern, don't you think? What if I catch a cold? How are you going to take responsibility for that? Why don't you head back home, Mother, and get yourself nice and cozy in a warm blanket? That way you won't catch a cold, and maybe you can calm down a bit too. We really don't want you to get sick. Don't be so cold. You could just invite me in for some nice hot tea. That's the least you could do, right? I'm Noah's mother. What do you mean by treating a mother like this when she visits her son's house? Noah is at work right now, and I can't handle this on my own. Besides, I was always taught as a child not to let people into the house without permission. I really can't let someone in without consent. I'm not just anyone. I'm your family. You don't have to be so formal with family. If you need something, please come by when Noah is home. Of course, if you let us know ahead of time, we'll be ready to welcome you. I can't handle sudden visits like this, so please go home for now. I came here because I do have a reason. I even thought of some names for the baby. We've already discussed that, haven't we? We want to choose the name after the baby is born, thinking about them together as a family. Just between me and Noah, we made that clear to you. But this is my first grandchild. I have naming rights too, don't I? No way. I refuse. Absolutely not. As usual, you're such a rude and bold daughter-in-law. And you're still such an intrusive and disrespectful mother-in-law. I've thought of names that are way better than anything you two could come up with. So at least listen to me. If it's just listening, sure. Please send them over on WhatsApp. Let me into the house. If the names are good, I'll let you in. Consider this a test to see if you can come in. Seriously, this is what's wrong with today's wives. My favorite show's rerun is starting in 5 minutes. So could you keep it short? Just because you're on maternity leave doesn't mean you should be lazy. Just because no one's giving you attention doesn't mean you should come by every day. Oh, now it's 4 minutes left. Fine then. I've come up with names for both a girl and a boy. Oh, is that so? I appreciate it. For a girl, how about Princess, Glitter, or Starshine? Excuse me? Princess, Glitter, Starshine? You really have no taste, do you? Wait, what? Is this really about taste? For princess, I meant Venus. That's setting quite a high bar for beauty. For glitter, I meant Ariel. But disappearing into bubbles sound like a bit of a problem. And it kind of reminds me of dish soap. Or how about Cruella de Vil? Nice. Sounds like she'd be a strong woman. I kind of want that name for myself now. Aren't these names all adorable? All of them are rejected. Why? They're what you call bizarre names. I don't want those weird names for my child. I can already see how much trouble the kid would have in the future. And you don't like Jupiter for a boy either. What's wrong with your taste? What's wrong with your taste, Eleanor? Personally, I think Cruella de Vil is the best option. What do you think? There's nothing to think about. It's a hard no. Honestly. Okay then, let's move on to boys' names. I really don't want to hear any more. How about a name Flint? Well, that's surprisingly reasonable. But actually, it's Flintstones. Wait, what? Flint as in Flintstones? That's ridiculous. Exactly. It's a totally unique twist. No other kid will have a name like that. Don't you think it's a brilliant idea? I don't think even the weirdest game or show would use a name like that. Calling it a bizarre name is just rude. Then how about Bobby Bear? Huh? Wait a second. You don't mean... You're not talking about an actual bear, are you? Pooh! You mean like the cartoon character? Pooh works too. No, absolutely not. A yellow bear named Bobby Bear? That name would only be considered cute until about age 2, max. Are you being serious, Eleanor? I'm dead serious. If you're thinking about the child's future, there's no way you'd come up with a name like this. I'm completely serious, and I'm thinking of the child. This is my first grandchild, after all. I will choose the name. Do you want to burden the child with such a name for life? What kind of hardship are you planning to put them through? I put so much thought into these names, and you call it a burden? Coming over every day with ridiculous, bizarre names and showing up unannounced is seriously annoying. I'm on maternity leave, and I'd like to calmly prepare for the baby's arrival. I'm helping you prepare by coming up with a name, just in case the baby comes any day now. So, Eleanor, are you saying you actually like one of those names? Of course! I put a lot of effort into thinking of them. All right, then we'll go ahead and use one of those names. Oh, I'm glad you've finally come around. Well, my show is starting, so I'll take my leave now. Eleanor, please return to your home. Now that the name's been decided, I guess I'll go home for today. But I'll be back tomorrow to ask which name you picked. And make sure you have a spare key ready for me by then. Hey, listen to this. Everyone is being so rude. I really can't believe it. Hey, Gianna, are you seeing my messages on WhatsApp? So, the relatives have started calling me Cruella de Vil recently. And this is your doing, isn't it? You said you'd use one of the names I suggested. Cruella de Vil was supposed to be the baby's name, not mine. Why is everyone calling me Cruella de Vil? What's the problem? It's your favorite name, right? It's the name the whole family is calling you now. What? You've got to be kidding. Every time someone calls me Cruella de Vil, people who don't even know me start giggling. Well, it suits you perfectly, especially with your wild hair and all. Anyway, make them stop. It's so embarrassing being called Cruella de Vil. You were actually going to give that name to your first grandchild, right? Well, maybe, but times have changed. Everyone in my circle appears to be living by some old-fashioned principles. I grew up surrounded by that, and most of the people I know are from that time too. Having lived steeped in those values, they just don't get the sense of today's world. You know, my face has that vintage look. I really don't blend in with the current times, so that name doesn't suit me at all. What does a vintage look even mean? I've never heard of that before. Do people's faces really change that much depending on the era? And just so you know, Cruella de Vil is a villain's name. I wouldn't want that name either. Who would want to give their child a name like that? No matter how quirky a name is, the child has to live with it for life. Do you understand now how hard that would be? Can you imagine the struggle of living with a ridiculous name? But involving the whole family is just too much. Turning this whole name thing into a joke makes me look like the bad guy. All I did was suggest a slightly unusual name. Why did it have to turn into such a big deal? At least, think about my feelings a little. These past 10 days have been so embarrassing for me. Don't give up after just 10 days. There's no need to panic just because the neighbors are calling you that. If we gave our child one of the names you suggested, they would have to live with it for their entire life. Choosing a name isn't something you do lightly. Did you even think about how they might get teased or bullied because of their name? Fine, I get it. If you're going to make such a fuss, I'll drop Cruella de Vil as a name. If you're that against it, then let's just end this discussion. But you've got to make the relatives stop. No matter how much I ask them, they won't listen to me at all. Since they won't listen to me, you've got to talk to them. All right then. If you promise never to force strange names on us again, and you stop showing up at our house unannounced, then I'll think about it. I'll also talk to the relatives. Wait a minute. I'm Noah's mother and the grandmother of this child, right? As a grandmother, I have every right to be more involved with my grandchild. Are you trying to kick me out of the family by making me promise all this? And so what? Being a grandmother has nothing to do with barging into our home without permission. As a family, there needs to be mutual boundaries and respect. By the way, I've already talked to your husband about all of this, and he's agreed with me. Wait, what? Even my husband agrees with this? I didn't hear about that. Yes, we had a thorough discussion. It's been decided that your contact with the baby will be kept to a minimum, and your contact with me will be even more limited. From now on, if there's anything you need, please contact Noah directly. But that boy never checks his phone. That's why I've been coming over in person, because I can't reach him. It's not that he doesn't check it. He's ignoring you. I think Noah has his reasons for doing so, don't you? No way! That's impossible! There's no way he would ignore me. You've complained before about how your own name, Eleanor, wasn't edgy enough, remember? So you should understand. The names you're trying to force are way too out there, and it's clear that our child would have a hard time with them. So please respect our decision. Fine, I get it. I won't suggest any more names. That's a relief. Now I'll draft up everything we discussed into a formal agreement. We'll need your signature on it. Noah will come by to see it today with the paperwork. Fine, I'll sign it for you. Thank you. Now we can move without any worries. Move? You're really moving? How can you decide that so suddenly? Yes, Noah's transfer was suddenly decided, so we have no choice but to move. I'm currently on maternity leave, and I'll be switching to remote work, so I can work from anywhere. We're not tied down to any specific location. Wait a minute. If you move, I won't be able to visit easily anymore. I won't be able to see my grandchild. Exactly. That's the point. I already mentioned this, didn't I? From now on, I want to focus on starting a new life with Noah. And since you signed the agreement, I assume you won't break your promise, right? The agreement was just a formality. I had no idea you were moving. Where are you moving to? I'm not telling you, Eleanor. There's no need for you to interfere in our new life. I'll be preparing for a home birth and, after that, we'll move to our new place. I don't think we'll be seeing each other again, so please, take care. Wait, hold on. I've been looking forward to meeting my first grandchild. I can't accept this. I must see my grandchild. Honestly, seeing a Cruella de Vil-like mother-in-law every day was really stressful. Now I'm finally free from that burden. Don't say that. We're family, so we should try to get along. I'm sure we can improve the relationship between us, right? It's too late to change your attitude now. It's far too late for that. Our relationship can't be fixed anymore. I promise to always call ahead from now on, and I won't just barge in anymore. So please, don't make this the end. Sorry, Eleanor, but my favorite TV show rerun is starting, so I'll take my leave now. I don't want my fun time interrupted. Wait, are you saying your favorite show is more important than me? What kind of show could possibly be that interesting? Well, a sexy detective enjoying tea time is much more charming than Cruella de Vil's nonsense. So with that, goodbye, Eleanor. I don't plan on seeing you for quite some time. Wait, please, let me hold my first grandchild. You don't have to see me. Just let me hold the baby. That's going to be difficult. As stated in the agreement, contact will be kept to a minimum. Goodbye. No! A few months have passed, and we've successfully completed our move. Our new life is peaceful, and Noah and I are really enjoying raising our son together. Our baby boy is growing quickly, and every day feels so fulfilling. Meanwhile, Eleanor has been completely isolated by her relatives, who continue to call her Cruella de Vil. That whole incident made the family realize just how out of line her behavior was, and gradually, everyone started distancing themselves from her. Unlike the days when she used to show up at our place uninvited, now no one invites her anywhere. Of course, she doesn't know our new address, so she can't visit us. At first, she tried calling Noah multiple times, but Noah hasn't answered a single one of her calls. It's clear to him now that she's a disruptive force in our family. I've heard that she's now suffering from the Cruella de Vil image she created for herself and spends her days shut away at home. Well, she brought it on herself.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and leave us a comment down below. It means a lot to us. See you next time!